On Christmas, my sister declared, "You're a growing embarrassment to our family." Cousin Sarah nodded, adding, "Someone had to say it." I calmly answered, "I understand." Then Dad's coworker called, "Is your daughter truly Forbes' youngest billionaire?" All laughter ceased instantly. The biting words landed not as sound, but as a physical blow, a sharp, invisible force that knocked the air from my lungs right there at Christmas dinner. My own sister, Olivia, her voice cutting through the festive hum like a knife, declared me an embarrassment to the family, and the carefully constructed facade of warmth in that room shattered. The crystal chandelier in Mom's dining room, usually a source of soft, inviting light, now cast harsh, unforgiving shadows across the polished mahogany table, reflecting the cold judgment in the eyes of the 23 faces crammed into a space barely meant for 12. Their voices, a deafening symphony of thinly veiled concern, swirled around me, each note a fresh sting. Olivia and her husband, Ethan, sat at the head of the table, radiating that smug superiority that comes from meticulously checking every single societal box. I had driven 6 hours from Denver, my beat-up Honda Civic looking painfully, almost comically, out of place next to the German luxury cars glittering in the circular driveway. At 28, I was the family disappointment, the cautionary tale whispered about at cocktail parties and then swiftly moved on from. While Olivia meticulously climbed the corporate law ladder, I had, 3 years prior, done the unthinkable. I dropped out of my Stanford MBA to chase what everyone, including most of the people at this table, called that ridiculous tech thing. Emily is still working on her little project, Mom announced, passing the potatoes with a dismissive gesture that spoke volumes. It felt like she was talking about finger painting, not the blood, sweat, and tears I'd poured into building a company. My cousin Chloe leaned forward, her diamond tennis bracelet glinting, a stark contrast to my own simple watch. "How's that going? Are you making any money yet?" The emphasis on "yet" was a subtle barb, making it clear she already knew my answer. I just stabbed at my green beans, the dull ache in my chest tightening. "It's progressing." My voice felt thin, like a wire about to snap. "Progressing?" Uncle George repeated, exchanging a knowing look with his wife, Susan. That's one way to describe unemployment. A hot flush crept up my neck, but I kept my gaze fixed on my plate. Dad cleared his throat from the other end of the table. David Monroe, a man who had built a successful accounting firm over 30 years, saw my perceived failure as a constant prick to his carefully cultivated pride. "Emily's exploring her options. Isn't that right, honey?" His condescension stung worse than any outright criticism, a patronizing kindness that made my jaw clench. Olivia set down her wine glass with deliberate precision, the clink echoing in the sudden lull. "We're all worried about you, Em. You're almost 30. Most people your age have established careers, retirement accounts, mortgage payments. What do you have?" I met her gaze across the table, my eyes burning. My older sister had always been the golden child, perfect grades, perfect husband, perfect two-story colonial. She'd followed the blueprint exactly and couldn't fathom why anyone would. Full story video added in below.